You know, people say in the Bible that these people that are God's chosen, God's heroes, do awful things and never seem to suffer any repercussions from it. So that seems to indicate that God has given approval of their actions. Hold on, not so fast. Let's talk about this. Hello, I'm Methodist Dave. I'm a professional theologian and Bible teacher. And it's been a little while since the last video. I have had quite a winter this year. Back now with two working eyes. I want to follow up on our last story about the two brothers, Jacob and Esau. Now, these are twins. Esau is the older brother, but you can't imagine brothers that are two completely different people. Esau is a rugged outdoorsman, probably a member of the NRA gun club, has a jacked up pickup truck, and wears cut-off t-shirts, sleeveless t-shirts. Jacob is NPR, wears a sweater, sits at home, watches rom-coms on the Hallmark Channel. Esau is a daddy's boy. Jacob is a mommy's boy. And one day, Father Isaac, who's blind and thinks he's going to die, decides that he's going to give the blessing to the older brother. Now, Rebecca, she likes her son more than her other son, and she wants him to receive the blessing. So she tricks Isaac into thinking that Jacob is Esau. And they do this with this ridiculous story where he straps on goat skins on his arms and around his neck and puts on Esau's clothes and tries to talk like Esau. And they fool Isaac, and he blesses Jacob. Now, you can imagine how brothers fight. Esau is furious and wants to kill his brother. When Isaac finally realizes what's happened, he's not happy either, but he's already blessed Jacob. So he summons Jacob back again, blesses him and says, "Son, you need to leave and leave now, or your brother will kill you. But I don't want you to find a wife from the Canaanites around here. I want you to go back to our home country, and I want you to take a wife from your relatives." So Jacob leaves. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be the punishment for Rebecca, who Jacob was her favorite son. She will never see him again. She will die while Jacob is away. So that will be part of her suffering, that she had to send her son away and she won't see him return. So Jacob goes across and goes back to the land of Haran, where Rebecca comes from. Now he comes to a well there, and shepherds are gathered around this well, and there is a large rock covering this well so that nothing can get into it. And they're waiting for all the sheep to arrive so that they only have to open it once and draw out the water once, and then they have to close it up with the stone again. So while Jacob is talking with these ones, and he says, "I'm looking for this fellow named Laban." Laban is the brother of Rebekah. He's the one who noted that when Eliezer came with Abraham's wealth, how rich Abraham's family was. Laban's a very materialistic guy, and he's very envious of the luxury that his sister has. Now his sister's son has shown up, and Laban is going to think, "I'm going to get me some." Well, Jacob has arrived with pretty much nothing. And he finds out that this is Laban's well, and along comes a herd of sheep with this young, beautiful girl named Rachel guiding them. And they said, "Oh, this is Laban's daughter, Rachel." And Jacob runs up, puts his arms around her, hugs her, kisses her, and like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you." And Rachel's like, "Creepy." But Jacob opens the well, tells her who he is, waters the sheep, and she brings him to her father's house. And Laban is impressed. Oh, you're my sister's son. Did you bring any money with you? But Jacob has come with the clothes on his back. He has left all the family fortune behind because he's running for his life. Laban proposes his look, you're staying with me. He's with him for a month, and he sees Rachel, and he is full on head over heels in love with Rachel. But Rachel is not Laban's only daughter. There is an older sister named Leah. And it's interesting, the Bible says Rachel is a lovely figure. Leah has weak eyes, which is probably an old way of saying she's got a great personality. So Rachel's the pretty one. Leah, she's got a good personality. We don't know exactly what it meant, but she wasn't anything to write home about. Well, Jacob says, I will work for you for 7 years for the hand of Rachel, your daughter's marriage. Laban says, okay, you work for me for 7 years, then you marry Rachel. And he works for Laban for 7 years. And then the day comes, it's 7 years. Finally, he gets to marry Rachel. And they have the wedding, and they're singing and dancing, and the wine is flowing freely. And at the end of the feast, then the couple would go into the tent and they would consummate the marriage. Now, this is pre-indoor lighting, and the bride is going to be wearing a veil, probably a pretty substantial veil, and isn't going to say much. So Jacob, of course, takes his new bride into the tent, honeymoon, and in the morning when he wakes up, laying by his side is not Rachel, but Leah. What? Hey, we did it. We're married. He comes out and tears into Laban. What did you do to me? I wanted Rachel. And Laban's like, hey, in this culture, the older sister has to marry off first. We got to get rid of her first before you're allowed to marry the younger one. So I figured you could have the older one. I mean, they're sisters. Tell you what I'm going to do. Work for me another 7 years, and I'll give you Rachel. Well, what's he going to do? He's already been with Leah, and in that culture, that's what it took to get married. If you you had a party and you went into the tent and under the family's blessing, you did the deed, you're married. And there is no divorce. So he says, finish out her bridal week, which the couple would spend a week together every day, trying for that first baby. And then at the end of the first week, we'll have another wedding ceremony. You can marry Rachel because he's not going to make him wait another 7 years. There could be problems. But they get married, and then he and Rachel are now a threesome with Leah. These things never work out well, and we're going to talk about that next time. But you see, Jacob thought he was being slick, and Laban was slick too. They say you sow whatever you reap, you will whatever you sow, you will reap. And some cultures call it karma. But I think basically if you're a dishonest person, sometimes dishonesty comes back on you. He cheated his father. Now he gets cheated himself. This marriage is not going to be a happy one for anybody involved. And next time we'll talk about the dangers of plural marriages and plural relationships and polyamory. But that's it for this week's edition of Through the Bible here. If you've got a question about this subject or any subject, drop me an email, methodistdave@gmail.com, and I will do my best to answer your question. Until the next time, be good to one another.